So you gotta let that savor. You gotta suck the barbecue sauce off that little weenie.
Are we talking about your ASMR videos again? Bangkok or whatever it's called.
Chum bucket.
Listening to episode 3, part 3, featuring Kyle Crosby of Louisiana Dread.
This is where I've touched my first Tetons, man.
See, the crazy thing, you said New China. I didn't know that any other Chinese food place existed other than Happy Gardens. And when I saw Happy Gardens 2 for the first time in Paradis, lost my fucking mind.
Not the same.
What?
No. Not the same. They weren't.
Dude, even like Chinese chefs in Matthews and Chinese Chef 2 here in Thibodeau.
Two totally different
things. They
things.
closed in Matthews. That was a sister. 2 totally different things.
Damn, so they didn't even copyright the Happy Gardens logo.
No, they literally just named it Part 2 because there was already a Part 1.
Repurposed.
Wow.
It's like the third Jurassic Park video.
You're blowing my fucking mind right now.
Third Jurassic Park movie. That's exactly what it is.
I was about to say, you could only do that with restaurants.
Yeah, you can. But literally nothing else doesn't work.
Yeah, we're Popeyes 2.
Yeah.
Taco and Bongery.
The sequel.
Yeah, rest in peace, y'all.
We're the same thing, except we don't have coleslaw.
Yeah, no coleslaw.
So better.
So better.
It's roasted chicken, not fried. It's Paula Deen style. Every bucket comes with the N-word.
That was one of the first things that I was in is a Popeyes commercial.
Were you the black lady?
I was her stand-in. No, I'm just kidding.
You went full blackface for that one.
I was in the background, and we did it for about maybe 9 hours or so, just doing the same thing over and over again. She was one of the sweetest people I've ever met, the Popeyes lady. I think she was from Georgia, but she was so nice. I'm not getting into the people hiding from Georgia coming in Louisiana. I'm not going to start that now. But no, she was really nice.
But she did kind of capture the essence of New Orleans, though. Like, for someone you could tell was not really from New Orleans.
And you know what? After we were done filming, guess where she spent her fucking money? In New Orleans.
Yeah.
When she was in the area, guess where she spends her money? In New Orleans.
Good.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of these people, they all spend when they come here, they spend their money. As long as they put their money into, and that was the thing that I liked with Anthony. What was it, down the Bayou Trail? That was the eating thing. Fucking right. That's what we need.
That's
more
awesome.
of.
Absolutely.
Now I heard that they were. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that they were going to take that little, excuse me for the pun, but Thibodeau Falls, the little river.
Yes, they're taking it down.
So, like, could that open the door for people to use the bayou to, like, I don't know, recreational sports and shit? Like,
it's going to open it up for a couple different things. They're talking about fishing piers. If you haven't gone up to the Lafourche boat launch up here in Thibodeau, that thing used to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Now they have all this new deck material out there, which is really cool.
I've never been up there.
It's a grid that is a puzzle of huge blocks of hollow plastic blocks, and they fit together, and then they drive pipes in the ground through holes in them, and as the tide rises and falls, it goes up and down with the fucking dock. So no matter how high it is, no matter how low it is, it's stable for kids. It's 6 feet wide. You can fish right there in the bayou. So they're planning on doing more and more of those, like down by Nichols. Once they open up that weir, if you fish anywhere north of Raceland in Bayou Lafourche, the water's very muddy. Now, some bass fishermen love that. I don't like fishing dirty water, so I don't fish up this way because of that weir making the water so muddy. So it's going to open up a lot of recreational fishing. They also have like the long row kayak team up here in Labadeville, and they're only able to go to the Weir and back. So God knows how far they'll be able to long row now, because they actually have like 20, 30-foot long rows.
Yeah.
You know, doing that kind of stuff. So it should bring more. You know, hopefully once COVID raises or whatever happens with it, or flatten the curve or whatever you want to fucking call it. Hopefully that type of stuff will start bringing more people back into the area. But what is one of your favorite pieces of history about NOLA?
Oh man, that's a good question. They have the thing that I love about New Orleans, just specifically, is that, of course, it was the second biggest city in the United States, second only to New York City. When people come here and it's like, oh, you know, this is a nice, quaint little city, whatever. They don't realize the impact. Not only New Orleans, but really the area. You got Baton Rouge to New Orleans, 94, 93 miles, or just say 100 miles. That, from Baton Rouge down to Grand Isle, this is the biggest port area in the United States, easily.
Yeah, Port Fourchon.
Easily. You got Fourchon, that's like number 17 in the country. You got Baton Rouge, number 13. New Orleans, number 7. Number 1, Port of Southeastern Louisiana. Beats out New York, New Jersey by hundreds of thousands of tons of cargo a year. Not to mention, we still one of the poorest states. That's another topic. But you have all these different cultures coming to New Orleans, okay? So you literally have folklore, horror, stories from Vietnam, Nigeria, Congo, and all West African countries. Senegal, Gambia, Cote d'Ivoire. You have Spain, Portugal, Greece, Germany, France, Belgium, England, the United States, Mexico, Honduras, all Central and South American countries. All over the world, people have come here, made little nests, and told their stories. So you got all kind of shit. But whenever you have to say, like, I'll say unique is, and a lot of people, especially if they listen in New Orleans, is definitely going to know the story. But and they're probably going to bitch at us for saying it wrong. But hey, this is the only correct version of the story. So help me God.
You heard it here first. DSR exclusive.
So they had rumors that this very, very highfalutin sultan from Turkey was coming to the city. And they purchased a property, I think it was like 716 Dauphine Street. And it was an emissary, first off. It wasn't this guy, but it was just, since that happened, they had a bunch of rumors going around this guy was coming. So when the sultan, for lack of a better term, lands in the city, it's this big old spectacle. You got a harem of women, all different cultures, all different places around the world. You got eunuchs, just dudes that are castrated as the guards.
Just running ham on bourbon.
Running ham. They got no dicks and balls, so they don't give a fuck. They just drinking their ass off.
Singing loud and proud and high-pitched as fuck.
Everything.
I got nibbles on my titties, big as my thumb.
I'm here, guys. He's coming. Look.
Big as my
He's here.
nipples on your titties as big as your balls.
Don't think about that one too far.
It's basically the Unsullied walking down fucking the street, and this dude comes out and it's all lavish and stuff, and of course all their neighbors are hearing just not all kind of sounds throughout the night, orgies and all this kind of shit going on.
Shit's going off, bro.
Fucking all kind of noises. But one night this guy's just walking by and he just hears nothing. And he's like, what? That's how you know.
It was a mass suicide all at once.
It was a mass murder. All he saw was just blood rolling down the stairs.
Seriously?
Seriously. he gets the NOPD, and they're quick to respond as always. So about 3 hours later, they show up, and especially in a city with like 20 people at the time, you know. No, I'm just kidding. They go there and just everybody's killed. Every eunuch, every all the women, all the partiers, goers, all this kind of shit. They all dead, except the Sultan. They can't find his body for a while. And then they go downstairs in the courtyard, and they see him buried, and all that's sticking out is his hand, and that's all they found of him. But everybody was freaking out, like, what's going on? And the police, being not corrupt, took all the bottles of wine and brought them home. When they started popping open them corks and started drinking it, it was fucking blood in the wine bottles.
Fuck.
They still haven't caught whoever did this. It's still up for now. Actual like historical records prove that they looked into it and stuff, and based what they found is like this guy. He claimed to be this sultan or whatever, but he wasn't actually a sultan. He was a very wealthy person from Iran that came down, but he had some unsettled debts, and they think it might have been like this kind of. This was pre-mafia, obviously, but it was like this like loan shark debt payment type stuff that just wiped the whole fucking people out.
All the poor eunuchs had to pay for it. And then he posed all the eunuchs to where they were scissoring.
Well,
scissor me timbers, Batman.
well, you know, it's good to know that not much has changed.
In New Orleans, yeah. Eunuch parties. Get it.
That one, I mean, that in itself is nuts. And that's just like I said, just a different culture. But then you have, like in essence, like Manila Village. Manila Village was a place in Barataria Bay, or in just the marsh area in by Lake Salvador and all this kind of stuff, that was stilted homes from the Filipinos that would go down there and work. And that was just a town that existed on flotillas in the middle of the marsh. And then obviously Katrina and all this shit wiped it out, but it was a thriving community. And you'll have that same type of stuff even far up towards, like, you know, in the Chafalaya Basin and stuff. And they had there was a town. It was 3 German communities. I forget the names of them. You can find them online, but they have really interconnected relationships. You know, a lot of these people in these 3 German towns right by the Chafalaya coast. And one main thing in common that they all had was that there was this a traiteur. Y'all know what a traiteur is? Yeah.
Why don't you explain to our non-Cajun viewers what a traiteur means?
So a traiteur is like a witch doctor in its essence, but it's basically someone who practices in, you know, voodoo rituals, whether it be healing practices. It was very, you know, spiritualistic, ritualistic type of person. But interesting enough, when a traiteur, the gift of being a traiteur is inherited at birth, but it is only passed down through other generations. So skips a generation, and it's to the opposite sex. If you're a traiteur and you're a boy, your grandma had to be a traiteur. If you're a female and you're a traiteur, your grandpa had to be a female. So,
wait, no way.
Yes, 100%.
Your grandpa had to be a female?
I'm sorry.
We're talking about transgender traitors.
This is new.
This is the same story with the unicorns.
Transgender traitors.
So your grandpa had to be your grandma.
Maybe I'm your grandpa, but I identify as my mom, Bab. Don't worry.
Hey, you gonna have that in the next 45 years?
Oh yeah, we're there. No, we're there now.
4 to 5.
Yeah, 4 to 5.
Fair enough.
No, it is from, you know, it skips a generation.
I didn't know that,
and it
though.
skips
And it
the
half
sex.
stops.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So it skips a generation and it skips the sex. So, like I said, if your grandpa, whatever.
And if you believe in that, you know, and you are in the communities that do believe in it, it's funny because, like, regular white people around here in the South, like, because even in the 80s, they still had traiteurs that were still kind of, like, doing their thing, right? And it's not as prevalent today.
They do it now.
They
Oh,
do,
yeah.
but I'm just saying it's not like
It's
it's
on
every community.
You had
underground-
one, you had
underground
one
type
in the
shit.
neighborhood back then.
But we were taught that
My mama
people
brought
that
me
were
in.
like that were were satanic.
Oh,
Because all of the Catholicism and, like I said, Baptist churches and non-denominational churches in the area, that's what we were raised in, and we were taught that that was a way of Satanism and not and then you get older and you look into it and you actually see it's more of naturalism.
But that was more when that happened. It was when the satanic scare happened, when everybody was Satanists if they didn't like this and that and the other thing. And I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with, even with the music, they would hate anything to promote Satan.
Yeah, what's that shit you listen to? Peruvian death metal or whatever.
But that's the kind of shit that they would, anything they didn't like. And I say they were hardcore Catholics. Would just say, "Hey, it's satanic." So anything, like my mama brought me to today when I was born, and the lady put me on a stump and she put some shit on me and she just said a bunch of stuff like "giri giri patasa," whatever. It didn't work. Whatever she said, I have bad luck every day. No, but basically, all three of these little villages in the German coast had that one traiteur that they would go to, and her name was Julia Brown. And Julia Brown was just kind of like, bring it to the doctor, if that don't work out. So they bring people to the doctor. Well, one night they had this woman who her infant baby was just very ill, and he was, throwing up, very pale, and she just runs to Julia Brown, and she's just begging for Julia to come out. It's the middle of the night, and Julia comes out and looks at the baby, heals the baby, does what she does. And then the town rejoices. Julia Brown saved this infant from death. And the baby grows up. Gets older and older and is just this, strong man. And he's about 18, 21 years old. And he's doing all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, drops dead. And everybody's just looking like, hey, what's up? Why this happen? Julia, she put a curse on him. So they all switched this narrative that Julia wanted to extract payment from this woman, that she didn't pay her in time, so she kills the baby. Now in his adult life, he's like 20-something to 30, and now the whole town forms a mob, and they come find Julia, get her out, and they say, fuck you, pretty much. And she says, fuck you. I saved this kid. I didn't do this. And he said, you fucking did, obviously. And she said, well, if you're going to fucking kill me, all of you are going to face the same fate as me. Like, I don't care. I'm going to where I belong. I was going here anyway. I was going to hell anyway. Y'all going to join me if you end me now. They kill her. Fuck her, right? Everything's fine. They kill her in, like, maybe June. Next October. It could be a couple Octobers later. Somebody could fact check me on this one, but it's very recent. Within, like, 2 years. Fucking hurricane hits. Wipes out over half the population. 2 German towns completely wiped off the map. Half the people are gone. We can't still find Julia's actual burial site.
Julia, got your ass, bitches.
Got your ass.
So, what I'm understanding in these stories, it's a story of debt collection.
A soul for our souls.
They come back.
And I want to say my mom was blessed by a traitor to have me, because she tried to have a kid for a long time and she couldn't. Then she did get blessed, and then she had me. So I might be the product of a traitor blessing. And their rituals were so fucking weird too, by the way. Do you remember any of this shit? Break 2 eggs over your head, chug a fig fig leaf up your ass, and call Mars Bart, and you get your wish.
See, mine was a very different experience. I mean, this old lady used to make me suck a titty, and then she'd play my little bird, and then she made me go home.
What happened after?
I felt blessed.
In your panties? Or in her panties?
How did I go home? She sent me home.
That's how
She played with my little bird. She played with my little bird and sent me home.
Poor Beth. Poor Grovon.
It was a rough life, man. It was a rough life. She made me drink a beer, suck a titty, play with my bird, send me home. That was the steps.
Thank you for listening to the Dank Swamp Rebellion. Tune in Saturday for part 4 of Kyle Crosby of Louisiana Dread.